Hey everybody, this is Mark Saunders with Saunders HOA Management. Thanks for checking out our blog post and our YouTube video today. If first time here, check out our website, saundershoa.com, or of course our YouTube channel. We're all about HOA management, tips, tricks to help you if you're on an HOA board, manage your association better. So today I want to talk about the top 10 reasons why communities should hire a professional HOA management company. A lot of times boards don't realize all the time and effort and conflict that they're going to be involved with when they sign up to be on their board. So first off, thank you if you've signed up to be on your board. A lot of homeowners don't want anything to do with their homeowners association. So the fact you've stepped up and you're trying to lead your community, that is a really good thing. But the top 10 reasons why a development, a community should think about hiring professional management. Number one, experience and expertise. So there's so many issues that can come up within a community that the board's never had to deal with before, and that can take so much time and effort, research and finding out the best ways to handle it. How does the state, where I'm in North Carolina, what's the state laws and rules regarding those types of things? So this is a huge time saver that a professional management company can bring to your community. Chances are we've dealt with a lot of situations, and if it's something we haven't dealt with before, we can do the research, we can find the best path, the best way to communicate it and everything instead of the actual board member. So huge time saving, which actually leads into the second reason you might want to hire a professional management company is the time savings that we do. A lot of times board members will call us and talk to us about our services just because they don't have time to do everything. Most board members have their own full-time job they're working, and they find out that being a board president or vice president or just on the board itself almost becomes a full-time job. And here's the worst part, you don't get paid for it. It's all volunteer. So that's probably one of the main reasons boards actually reach out to us, is that the board members themselves are burnt out and they just did not realize how much time and effort would go into it. So that's the thing that we take off. We try to eliminate about 95% of the duties and the time commitment that are on our boards that we currently manage. So time savings, that's a big one. Number three, financial management. The budgets, the collecting of dues, the delinquency. Again, that all takes time. It goes back to the time of everything, but also how do we effectively do a budget? How do we communicate the budget to the board and to the community as a whole to explain why their dues might be going up? There's a lot of HOAs out there that are in a very, very tough financial situation now due to inflation that we've seen in the recent years and everything. So this kind of goes into the planning and the collection of dues. There's a lot of times we take over a new community and their delinquency is just crazy because they don't have a system or a process to get homeowners to pay. So that goes into number three, financial management. Number four, this is another big issue that we come across when we are talking to a community that might already have a management company. And so if you're thinking of interviewing companies or bringing on a management company, ask them, how do you communicate? So number four, what you should be getting when you hire a professional is improved communication. The number one complaint that I hear is we don't hear anything from the management company. We don't know what they do. There's no communication. Okay. So when you hire a professional, there should be improved communications, not just with the board, but with the community as a whole. People need to know what's going on, and they need to know what the board is doing. They need to know how the board's set up, and they need to know kind of a long-term plan. I have found that if you inform your community what's going on and they know what the dues are going to, things go over much, much better than if they just think, well, I pay my dues every month and I have no idea what I get for it. So improved communication, number four. Number five, and this goes right back into the time saving, is vendor relationships. So if you manage your community on your own, and this probably rings a bell to you, if you manage it on your own, you have to go out and find the vendors. And I can tell you, with years and years of property management experience, I've been a property manager for over 20 years now, sometimes it's harder dealing with vendors than it is with like tenants or homeowners. So let's say the roof starts leaking. Now you're interviewing roofing companies. And how do you know if that company's even good? Are you getting copies of their general liability and workers' comp insurance? Nowadays, it's so hard to find vendors. If they just show up on time, they are so far ahead of their competition. So we do that as a management company. We already have connections with a lot of vendors. Plus, we're interviewing vendors all the time. So when the need comes, we have people there to step into it. So number 5, vendor relationships. Take that completely off the board. Number 6, rule enforcement. Now, this is something no board ever wants to have to deal with, but enforcing the rules of your HOA. You see all the videos online of the HOA Karens that go out and, with a ruler and they're measuring the grass and you're in violation. That is not the norm. Most of the time, the board really does not want to get involved with conflicts like this. And so what happens is they let people slide. And then that snowballs until you have to enforce a rule on one homeowner. And then that homeowner's like, but there's 20 other people doing the exact same thing. Now you're in a mess. So rule enforcement, your management company should have a list of your rules. They should communicate that with the community and then be able to step up and enforce those rules whenever the time comes up. Number 7, another reason you don't think about this much. There's a lot of hate out there against HOAs, but here's a big benefit of having one: property value preservation. So your HOA and your HOA management company should be enhancing the values of your property by maintaining them to a certain level or better. So, and this goes into finances, this goes into everything, because if your dues are not enough to cover your expenses, then when the roof starts leaking, guess what? You don't have the money to fix it. So this all kind of rolls in together with your budgets and everything to preserve the value of the property. Make sure that the outside's looking good. Make sure trash is being picked up. Homeowners aren't just throwing trash or they're letting their dog go everywhere. This all goes into this is probably the number 1 rule of what your management company should want to do, is preserve the value of the property. Number 8, and this kind of goes back into number 6, rule enforcement. Number 8, conflict resolution. Okay, so we enforce the rules aren't being followed. Now do we have to take it up another step? Here recently in one of my communities, we had a homeowner not following the rules. We had to send letters, and we actually had to do a fine hearing on them. So we had to get an attorney involved, hold a hearing, and do all of that. We set all that up for the board. The board comes in and hears it and then gives us their answer, how they want to do it. But we're there as kind of a mediator sometimes between the homeowners and the board to help with this conflict that can possibly come up. Number 9, community amenities. This kind of goes with if you have a community that has gyms or pools or tennis courts or whatever. The HOA management company should be there to oversee that and make sure that they are maintained. Make sure you have the proper type of insurance on it. So when you offer amenities, it's great for the homeowners, but a lot of boards don't think about that adds liability. So what if somebody got hurt or actually drowned in the pool? Are you covered liability insurance wise for all of that? So part of the management companies oversee that and help navigate those insurance world with the board itself. And then finally, number 10, and this is probably one of the most important things that I think most management companies and most boards do not consider, and that is long-term planning. Most communities are behind the 8 ball right now, to where their inflation's gone up so much, their dues have not gone up, and so now they're just putting out fires as they come instead of really planning long-term. One thing that we do with most of our communities is get out of this 6 to 12 month planning. Let's look long-term to say 3-4 years down the road. Where do we want our community to be? And kind of work backwards to go from there. So your management company should have that discussion with you. How do we get more proactive and save money in the long term instead of just being reactive and fixing things as they come up? So your management company should have that discussion with you as a board to figure out the best way to go with that. So love to get your thoughts. Feel free to comment if you're seeing it on our blog at saundershoa.com, or if you're on our YouTube channel. Let me know your thoughts. A lot of hate out there on HOAs and their role. A lot of people don't understand their role, which is one of the reasons we're pushing out more education on that. Love to get your thoughts on that. And until next time, hope you have a great day. Thanks.